Hey, my name's Craig. I'm a Florida Master Naturalist and kayak instructor with ACA and a guide here at the Bay Park with Ride and Paddle. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the mangroves and why they're so important to our environment. So here at the Bay Park, one of the first things they did in cleaning up the park and preparing this property to build a new park is to dredge out the bayou here, this mangrove bayou we have with mangrove growing all around it. The bayou before would have been just mucky, but now that they've dredged out and increased its depth, they not only removed pollutants, but they also restored the hydrology and the water flow back in here. And that's bringing in a lot of our wildlife. So some of the things we're seeing here recently for the first time in many years is upside down jellyfish that come in the winter season to find warm water. We are also seeing more barnacles and oysters forming on these roots of the mangrove trees. We see mangrove tree crabs and snails. And these are very important janitors and cleaners for our ecosystem. Other things we're seeing come back are the different variety of fish. We've got lots of mullet that are hanging out in the bayou, but we also see lots of baby fish. So if you come out in the spring, you see lots of schools of small little baby fish. So these estuaries, these waterways around our mangroves are incredibly important because all those big fish that are living out in the deep seas, when they're babies or juveniles, they're here in these estuaries and these low salinity waters until they grow up to be big fish. So we need to keep these water systems healthy. And the mangroves contribute that by being habitat for all the janitors and the cleaners, but also their roots are removing the nutrients from watershed so that those nutrients are going out and feeding things like algae blooms in the water system. So our mangrove trees are subtropical, tropical species. You only find them in warm climates. You won't find them even in North Florida in the Panhandle region. It's too cold up there. But the other thing coming to warm climates are different variety of birds. And so here in Central Florida, we have resident birds, but we also have migratory birds. We have different birds coming here throughout the season. And when they come to these warm climates, they have to have a safe place to stay. And these mangroves provide that safe habitat for them. These trees have evolved to be very wind tolerant. So the birds don't have to worry about their nest falling or the branches falling during storms. These trees are very dense and they blend in very well. But also because these trees have adapted to grow in or around the water, you'll often find them out in the bay away from the mainland, giving separation from the birds and their mammal predators. So creating that safe place for them to grow and be healthy so they can return back to their home ecosystems. So when we lose our mangrove trees, it's not only impacting our local ecosystems here, but it's impacting those ecosystems where all those birds are migrating from, whether it's the southern hemisphere or the northern hemisphere as well. If you want to come out here and explore more with the mangroves, and we can do that with Ride and Paddle, rideandpaddlethebay.com is where you can find all the information, whether you want to book a tour, do a rental for a kayak, go out on your own, or join us at one of our other locations.